Okay. Good evening, everybody. We're going to get started. This is the Monday, November 14th Select Board meeting. With me, I have our clerk, Ellen Rosenfeld, our vice chair, Craig Schultz. I am Erin Underhill, the chair. We have Karen Bray DeMarzo, the assistant town administrator and HR director. And via Zoom, we have our town administrator, Michael Gazinski. We have a good agenda, but hopefully a bit of a short one for tonight, which would be nice. So we're going to start off with some announcements. The first thing we'd like to do this evening is recognize our election workers. So if I could have any election workers that are with us, come on up to the front. That would be great. Yes.
The Zoom's getting no volume.
Zoom gets no volume.
They wouldn't recognize it.
What do I do about that?
Let me see. Excuse me 1 minute. Sorry. Let me. I don't know. Let's see. No, so many years of Zoom and we still can't quite get there.
Not on. There he is.
Oh,
No,
It was the volume.
He can't
couldn't
hear us.
can you hear us now?
Oh, you can hear us now?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, loud and clear, thank you.
Okay. All right, so thank you so much for being here and for coming in for some recognition. We just wanted to say that we really appreciate all of your hard work. This was a crazy week, month, and so forth.
Yeah.
You know, you took care of early voting, you took care of elections with a huge turnout. What would we say, 4468? That's huge. And town meeting was amazing at 5:39. So you guys had your work cut out for you, and doing standing counts at town meeting was no joke. And you guys did a great job. So just wanted to express our thanks and appreciation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other comments?
No, it was terrific.
No.
It was terrific.
We will try to avoid referrals in the future.
Right, right.
Can I just thank our wardens and clerks, too, that are not here tonight? Suzanne Laughlin, Carol McCall, Bonnie Hilton, Ann Bama, Sue Frizzoco, and Joanne Truchon. They were instrumental in helping us this past month, so we want to thank them, too.
Absolutely. Everybody that was involved that, you know, may not be here tonight.
Right.
Again, thank you to all of you. So thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you, yes, same to all of you, our election warding, our town clerk, but especially two of our staff here, Sue Vara and Kathy Smith, who do yeoman's work on an everyday basis, helping the public, and I cannot tell you how many hours they have been here. And I don't know, it certainly hasn't gone unnoticed by us up the stairs. I come down, the office is always crazy, and I just thank you very much.
And with a
ladies.
smile even. So.
Yes,
I know.
and I know it's been a lot ever since the eletion, the preliminary elections in September. It has been steady, so, much
So take the
appreciated.
rest of the year off.
And relax, and
Yeah.
please be kind to our town clerk staff if you come into our building, because they do a lot of work. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys, thanks.
Thank you. I just want to do one other thing under announcements. I wanted to discuss and hopefully vote upon closing all non-emergency town operations at 1 p.m. the day before Thanksgiving, Wednesday, November 23rd. So I guess I'll make that motion.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded to close all non-emergency town operations at 1 p.m. on Wednesday, November 23rd. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Okay, so the first thing we have tonight is a vote to accept a gift of a tree. And I believe we have Carlson,
We do. Hi,
Cantorelli.
Carlson.
Hi.
Straight from Mississippi, correct?
Yes. Oh, can we hear
Can you
him?
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm attending Mississippi State University right now, and my dad texted me he couldn't be there to accept my scholarship tonight in honor of Mr. Davis, so I zoomed in.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Yes, Carlson is this year's recipient of the Henry Davis Memorial Scholarship for Education in the field of arboriculture. And along with a monetary amount, he was gifted a shade tree, and he'd like to donate that to the town. It looks like you guys are still maybe
Yeah,
working
he is
out.
here.
Oh, there he is.
Your father has appeared.
Your father has arrived. So it looks like that there's a couple options and, tossed around there on where it will go, but it is very generous of you to gift that tree to the town. Certainly, I'll let you or Brutus have some comments.
Yeah, so we talked, and I will be home for Thanksgiving break next week. So we thought it'd be a good idea to give the tree or plant the tree at a town park, specifically Oak Grove Farm, to kind of give back to the community. And I was thinking, I love a red oak tree. Oak Grove Farm oak tree kind of goes hand in hand. So we thought that'd be a fair thing to do. So.
That sounds great. Excellent.
Excellent.
So I will add, you didn't get an oak tree. Well, we got an oak tree, but not a red. We got a Aquarius tricolor, which is, some people know as a bur oak or also a swamp maple, a white oak swamp maple. But it's a very nice tree, good structure, it's disease resistant. So that's what we're thinking about doing. And then we also thought is we're going to try to do it maybe on the Friday after Thanksgiving. And I was going to put out there, and I know it's kind of weird, but I just did a walk at one of the farms the other day with the Girl Scouts. So I thought we maybe put it out there and just people want to come down and see the proper way to plant a tree.
That's great.
And if people want to show up and do that, and Carlson's pretty well versed in that, we thought maybe we could do that.
That would be awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that's what
And
we're
once you
thinking.
have that information, we can put it on the town website.
I was going to say, send it to me, we'll put it on the website, we'll publicize it on Facebook to the town Facebook page. And
Okay.
invite people to come down, just tell me what time and where to be.
So now we have a Mississippi,
awesome.
Massachusetts connection.
Yes, I like it.
Swamp oak.
I like it.
Well, fantastic, and congratulations on your scholarship. Great work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Sure. And thank you, Brutus.
Thank you for the tree.
Yeah, Carlson.
This was
Very
much
exciting.
easier than town meeting.
Yes. You just
No
have to-
pressure.
You have to make a motion to formally accept the gift of the tree. Do they need to state the amount,
Just think
Madam
it's
Finance
3.
Director?
No.
No, they can just
Okay.
accept the gift.
I'll make a motion to accept the gift of some type of oak, swamp maple oak, is that right?
White.
White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the gift of the tree. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you both so much. It's very exciting, and I know it'll be great at Oak Grove, and also very exciting that people could come out and see how to plant a tree.
Okay, so we'll get information on that.
Yeah, get us that
Okay.
information. That'd be great.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Have a
thank you
great
so
night.
much.
Thanks,
See ya.
You too.
Carlson. Study hard.
Thank
Yeah.
you. All right. So we are just about on time. So the next thing we have is the tax classification hearing.
We're exactly on time.
Exactly. Look at that. Okay, so it looks like we are having a tax classification hearing, and what we're being asked is if we will be adopting a single tax rate for the fiscal levy year of 2023.
Yes.
Okay.
So you just need to open the hearing.
Oh, okay.
Move we open the tax
Thank you.
classification hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to open the hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hearing is open. Okay.
Okay, I met with the Board of Assessors, and the Board of Assessors has asked that the Board of Selectmen, Select Board, excuse me, the Select Board adopt a single rate, which is what we've had in the past. Millis has never had a split rate. So what we're asking you to do tonight is adopt either a single or a split rate.
Okay. Are there any questions with the board?
No, but I just learned that the reason we don't have a split rate was because we don't have very much commercial. And typically, right,
Right.
Is that correct? And typically, a town that doesn't have like 20 or more % commercial, which we don't have that amount, can't really afford to do a split rate.
Most towns that have less than 20% do not do a split
Right.
rate. Currently, Millis has 9.3%
I know.
commercial industrial base, the rest is residential base.
Right, which is very small,
Very small, less than 10%. For the past 3 years, it's been less than 10%.
right?
Yeah. Is that a recommendation or requirement, or is it just standard practice? Because we've never had a split tax rate, I know that, and I just always get asked why we don't. I think people believe if we have a split tax rate, we can reduce their taxes, which is
Exactly.
not
It would,
necessarily the case.
Right.
In most instances, if you have a split rate, it will reduce your residential rate, but
But-
it's not an advisable step when you have less than, as Mrs. Rosenfeld said, 20%. Most towns, it's 20, some towns do it less than 15, but it's not recommended to do that.
Okay.
And it's not, my understanding is it's not like a rule or a law or anything, it's just best practice.
It's correct, it is best practice. The rule is that the select board needs to decide whether
Right.
it's a split rate or a single rate. That's the law.
Right.
Okay. Are there any questions from the audience? Lisa?
Lisa Harden, 56 Walnut Street. I'm a member of the Board of Assessors. I think it would just be helpful to add for people watching that if you do a split rate with such a small percent, that it would make it totally unaffordable for the commercial and industrial people. Because to make any significant impact on the residential rate,
It would have to be.
which is such a huge
Right.
portion of it, nobody
It would
else
have
would
to be
want to
so
be
high. Right.
interested in doing business here.
Right, right.
Okay.
We don't want that.
We don't want that.
Okay. Well, if there are no further questions, I think we can close the hearing.
Make a motion, we close the hearing?
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to close the hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hearing is now closed. Do we have any further discussion?
I don't.
No.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that the town approve a single tax rate for the fiscal levy year 2023.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve a single tax rate for the fiscal levy year 2023. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So on time?
We're gonna, do you want to skip this one for the moment in case Mr. Brewery is coming?
I
I don't think he
I
is
don't think we need him to be here. I think it's just accept the bids, and then
Okay.
we're,
All right,
I think
Yeah.
we could probably speak to it.
then we'll move right along.
yeah.
Okay, so the next thing we have is the approval of a contract for repairs to Majors Baseball Field. We have received the bid sheet and 3 quotes were solicited for the project. Only one company provided their quote, and we have that quote here.
Madam
So-
Chair,
Yes. Yes.
if I may, yes, the Youth Baseball League did go out and solicit 3 bids. I reviewed them. Only one company, as you mentioned, did actually provide a legitimate bid. So I'd be requesting that the board this evening vote to authorize me to execute an agreement with Drake Company for the project at Majors Field for $14,817. So they can begin that work and have that done while the weather will still allow it.
I just have a question. Have we heard anything about the softball field?
I have not. I will certainly attempt to reach out to them
I think Mr. Cortez.
to see. They did not indicate to me that they were seeking to do that work immediately, but I will reach out to them to see what preliminary work they've done, and I'll work with them to get the necessary quotes so they can move ahead in a similar fashion.
Okay, it looks like Mr. McKay might have some news
Yes,
for us.
so I talked to Mr. Rand, and they are planning to do it in the spring. They feel that they can still
Okay.
get it completed and ready for softball season.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right, I'll make a motion to authorize the town administrator to execute a contract with Drake Company for $14,817 for repair of the Majors Field.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the town administrator to execute a contract with Drake Company in the amount of $14,817. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we are slightly early for that.
Would you do the joint salt bid very quickly?
Yeah, let's do the salt
Yes,
bid.
can we do the salt bid, Mr.
Yeah.
McKay?
Yeah, we're getting you out of here. Okay. You can leave whenever you want after the salt bid. That's the important one.
So, thank you, Madam Chair. I would ask that you allow the town administrator to sign a contract. This is an annual thing that we come every year. So the bids, we want to thank the town of Medfield. They put this bid out for us every year, and they've been doing it, forever. So the low bid went to Eastern Minerals, and their price per ton is $70.50. So a little, I can give you from FY19, we started out at $42.20. FY20 it went to $46.95. FY21, $43.18. And last year it was $65, so we're going up $7.50 a ton. And that's delivered, which so they can't come back and say, oh, we want more money for gas or anything like that. So it should be, hold true. Luckily, this is the first year we have the salt shed filled. You have to get, a couple of loads, but it's from last year, so which is good. This is, like I said, the town administrator will, he'll tell you that we don't really have to come, but we usually like to come. You will have to sign the contract with Eastern Minerals. But we usually not put a not-to-exceed amount of $170,727. And then we can come back just to keep everybody updated if we go over that. So the board isn't surprised that we've gone over at the end of the year, say, oh, we just spent $500,000-600,000. So we will come back. And the Finance Committee also likes to have that done also.
So, what exactly are we voting on?
Do we need-
Motion to,
A motion to approve the contract with Eastern Minerals.
Eastern.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract for salt with Eastern Minerals
In the amount of the $170,000.
in the amount of $170,727.
not to exceed, right?
Not to exceed,
Not to
yeah.
exceed.
Sorry, thank you.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the contract with Eastern Minerals not to exceed $170,727. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now you can.
Now we're on schedule. Are we?
This is another hearing, so we have to open the hearing.
So we're 1 minute early, but we.
I'll go slow on my motion.
Go slow on
I'll
your
make a
motion.
motion to open the stormwater management permit hearing for, well, I should know the answer to this, but what's the location?
1178.
1178 Main Street, there it is. Just had to find the right page.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to open the stormwater and land disturbance hearing for 1178 Main Street. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. Merrickin.
Good evening, Madam
Good
Chair,
evening.
members of the board. Dan Merrickin with Legacy Engineering, here on behalf of the applicant. Mark Howe is with us tonight. He is the applicant. We've applied for a land disturbance / stormwater permit for the proposed redevelopment. The property used to be developed. It's pretty overgrown now, of 1178 Main Street. It's located at the corner of Hammond Lane and Main Street, across Hammond Lane from the bowling alley. So I know that Ellen's new to this, but you guys have a stormwater management and land disturbance regulation, which focuses on stormwater management and erosion controls during construction. Our project will disturb a little more than an acre. It'll disturb 1.5 acres, so that triggers the need to come to see you to get a permit. In the existing condition, you can see here, the parcel's 8.7 acres. Everything in the dark green area is a wetland. Everything in the light green area to the right is upland area. There are remains of the former development of the site, which I don't know exactly what it was, but there's old foundations and old stone walls up in this corner. But as I indicated, it's pretty overgrown at this point. The applicant is proposing to build 2 apartment buildings totaling 24 apartments. There would be an apartment building up front on the corner of Main and Hammond, and then a smaller one further back on Hammond Lane. There would be 2 parking areas, this one here servicing the larger building, and then a smaller parking area down below it servicing the smaller building. This has nothing to do with your permit, but just so you know, this is what the applicant's proposing to build. It has a very kind of nice colonial look to it. I think it'll fit in nicely. So we'll talk about erosion control first. We have all the standard features in here. We have perimeter erosion controls, hay bales, silt fence, not hay bales, straw bales, silt fence. And we have construction entrance. We've prepared a stormwater pollution prevention plan as part of our stormwater report, which I submitted to you, which I know you all read. And that has all the normal things: O&M plans, construction methodologies to prevent sediment and erosion from discharging from the site during construction. That's some of that is specified here on this plan, but there's a whole booklet that goes with it. Our stormwater management system consists of 2 things. Underneath the proposed parking lot here, we're proposing to build an underground stormwater infiltration system. And then down here off the bottom end of this parking lot, we're proposing a shallow stormwater open infiltration basin. So I know that your consultant has generated some comments. We are in the process of reviewing those and we'll be responding to those in writing. You're actually our first hearing for the project, so we are going to ask for continuance tonight after I answer any questions to the best that I can that you may have of us. And then I would say we'd come back in January, probably at your second meeting, and then by then we should have gone through most of the process with the Conservation Commission and the Planning Board, and hopefully be in a position where we could wrap this up at that point.
Okay. Great. Do you guys have any questions?
I just have a procedural question here. So you're here for a stormwater management permit, a land disturbance permit. Does this overlap with the planning board at all?
Yeah.
What am I missing?
Yeah, it does. Planning Board looks at all these same issues.
So is our consultant the same as the planning board's consultant?
It is.
Correct.
So maybe we want to look at this someday in the future and just throw this whole thing to the planning board? Have we thought about that?
So right now, you're the water and sewer commissioners.
Right, but this is,
Yeah.
isn't this
And
drainage?
stormwater, so that's where that comes from. That's not always the way it is in every town, but in ours, that is.
So this is just the stormwater piece of it. So you don't look at that. I'm looking at a planning board member down there. You have no jurisdiction over stormwater.
No.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Nicole Riley, 258 Village Street, Millis Planning Board. No, the planning board has no jurisdiction over stormwater. As Karen said, that is your jurisdiction because of the Water Sewer Commission. That's your baby.
Huh,
It is interesting.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Very interesting, yeah.
That was when the whole stormwater went into effect. That was the decision of the select board that it remain with you.
Really?
Yeah, well, I think we'll, yeah,
We
we'll have
should
to
look
think
at-
about that.
I think
Yeah.
it's good. Well,
To streamline things, maybe. Well, we can discuss it
We
and
can
see.
talk.
Okay, that's all.
But in this case, I don't have a lot of questions
I
about
don't
this
either.
project.
All right, being a public
Sorry,
hearing.
I was going to say, you have a meeting tomorrow night going over this, right, at Planning Board?
We have a Planning Board meeting tomorrow.
Right, so.
Yeah, so we'll continue until
FYI.
after that, yeah.
Yeah.
And we do have Melissa Ricos, too. I don't know if you want.
Oh,
her to
okay.
answer. She's our consultant.
Hi, how are you?
I am good.
I did see your comments. Is there anything that you wanted to say or elaborate on the comments that you had for this project?
I don't think so. We don't have major comments or major concerns regarding the stormwater on this project. Mostly just some additional information we're looking for in details. So
Okay,
I'm sure we'll work that out with them.
great. Is there any questions or comments from any of the public? Okay.
So is the motion to continue, not close? Is that?
So we.
Yes.
We would ask you to continue to, I mean, given the holidays, I would say your second meeting in January.
Okay. I don't know what the date.
If
we
you
don't
said
think
it.
We have a date yet for that, so
Yeah.
hold on a minute.
We could just say in
Oh, sorry,
January.
January 4th
I
is the
think
first
you have
one?
to continue to a date certain.
Oh, we do? Oh, okay.
I mean, if you don't have a date,
Is January
Set-
4th too soon, Dan?
I think it probably will be too soon. You could continue us to the 4th, and then I could just ask for a continuance at that time to
Or
your
bump
next
back
meeting,
to
whenever it
January
gets.
4th
Yeah.
is a Wednesday.
We
Madam
haven't
Chair?
done before.
We do.
Right.
And the board hasn't formally decided yet, but the next meeting that would make sense after the 4th would be January 23rd. But again, if that doesn't work for the board schedules, then I would
January 23rd.
recommend that you follow up with what Mr. American just said about doing the 4th and then continuing it from there.
That's not the Martin Luther King holiday, is it, Mike?
No,
That's the 16th. I'm talking about the 23rd.
Sure.
Yeah, can you do 23rd?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right,
All right.
yeah, 23rd's good.
I'll
Okay,
make a
so-
motion to continue to January 23rd
Second,
At 7:15.
at 7,
It has to be a time as well.
7:15.
second.
It's been moved and seconded to continue this hearing to, of the stormwater and land disturbance for 1178 Main Street to Monday, January 23rd, 2023 at 7:15 PM. All those in favor?
Perfect.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Pete, we already approved your contract.
You're good.
So, okay.
Yep. Okay. So the rest of it doesn't matter what time we do.
It does not, because we don't have any more hearings, so you can just move along if you like.
All right. So the next thing we have on here is to discuss the plans for 1060 Main Street, project on 1060 Main Street, which it appears to be where the old Bada Bing's was.
Okay.
Correct.
It looks like there was a comment period, and there were some comments made and submitted regarding pulling out into traffic and where the entrance and exits would be. Mr. Kaczynski, do you have anything to add to this one before we discuss?
Not at this point. I think the project is moving along as we expected. We did meet out there a while back. I know Mr. McKay and Mr. Weiss were out there as well. I don't have any other specific comments at this point in regards to the project.
Madam Chair, maybe we just want to note that this is a 40B project. I don't know if you said that already.
I didn't.
This is a 40B project. The applicant intends to apply for a comprehensive permit. So this is Mass Housing is now looking for comment from the board, is what this is.
Okay. And would they be looking for comment other than the other town comments that were made in terms of the traffic concerns? Are they looking for whatever else we have, or are they looking for
I think,
a full
you know,
submittal?
Mr. Weiss might be able to speak more to that, I don't know, maybe.
Madam Chair, I know the police chief has put forward his concerns, which will certainly be forwarded to Mass Housing. And also the Conservation Commission and Planning Board has also forwarded their comments, and they're in your packet. So we will be forwarding all those to Mass Housing, but certainly if the board members have any other specific concerns, this would be the opportune time to discuss those to make sure that that's included in the letter that gets sent off to Mass Housing as far as the town's comments.
Okay.
And just to note, so for 40B, just to remind people that that will not be in your jurisdiction. It will not go to the planning board. It goes to the ZBA. when it's 40B, and they will actually act as the water and sewer commissioners as well on this project. So any comments you have regarding sewer, water, anything is something that you would want to put in now.
So how does
I
that
would
work
suggest.
with
Is
a
that correct,
moratorium?
Bob?
That's what I was just going to suggest.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
You, in your letter now, so this project, there was already flow of sewer and water in there. You have a moratorium in place.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to make a decision to lift that moratorium to vote this in, because it was never part of any of our calculations. This project was not. But the good news is that this project with a restaurant and an industrial, 2 restaurants actually, and what was there, it will cover the flow that Dan will provide us as part of the, but you will have to take a vote to lift your moratorium, because you don't want this letter to go in with there's a sewer moratorium in place.
So we would potentially lift the moratorium for this project only?
And vote this in, yes.
And you're saying that the flow, the hookup that currently exists there, given the businesses that were in business, should be adequate? It's not like we have to give any more?
It would be minimal. I mean, we
If
can
anything.
find out, by the time, what Bada Bing's used and the different businesses on the side used.
Yep,
And Dan will give us those flows. He
okay.
I would be okay lifting the moratorium for this if the flow doesn't change
Yeah.
dramatically, because the intent was to not increase our deficit, so
Right.
as long as there's no detrimental flow rate with this, 24 units. I don't know how many bedrooms that is. I probably is in here someplace, but I don't recall off the top of my head. I remember it's 24 units.
So the good news, like, even with this, and even in your stormwater, I mean, you still have, you can add all that stuff in before the ZBA gets it. I looked at both this and this other project. We like what is being built there, and it's good for us, it's good for the town, because we can use their calculations of removing the phosphorus load. So these systems that Dan or whoever is designing are up to our standards or above our standards. So they're good for us, because that whole parcel right now, although it has some protection, it not is what's going to be built there. So it does go in our favor that we can use those, and especially the other project. Right now has nothing, and the 2 Caltech systems, it's good.
Okay.
On the stormwater side, it's good.
On the
yeah.
stormwater,
Yeah.
correct.
So I guess my only concern would be in however we draft it, as long as we're not, starting out with, we have a sewer ban in place, moratorium in place, the 24 units will increase our use or not increase by X, and that would be my only comments to the
Can you
ZBA.
get that projection from you? Soon?
Sure.
Soon?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we can figure the bedrooms on
Yeah.
what it should be side, but I just don't know what they've been using. And if that's not a dramatic change, then I think that there's no problem with it.
So this isn't figured in it,
No,
not at all?
not this one, no.
Where are they in the permitting process? Anywhere?
Yeah, the letter of intent was.
That's it?
Yeah.
They've applied to the state for a letter of site eligibility, so this is part of the review process that goes on with that. You provide comments to the state then does or doesn't issue a letter of site eligibility. If they receive the letter, they will then go forward and prepare an application to the zoning board for a comprehensive permit.
Okay, so then nowhere.
Well, they're at the beginning of the process.
Very beginning,
Yeah. Very beginning. And I think also as they get a little further in the process, we'll have more of Glen Ellen
Right.
built out too and other things, so this might
Right.
improve things, and we may even have a better stormwater management policy, or not a stormwater, a sewer policy in place at that point too.
So are we supposed to weigh in on this entrance and exit thing?
If you'd like to.
Yeah.
So we can if we want to. I mean, I think the police kind of covered
Already
it.
did it?
I'll weigh in
Unless-
supporting the police's position.
Yeah, unless you have a differing of opinion from what they said, but I think what they said sounds good. Either right turn only or no
Or nothing?
exit
Yeah.
is fine with me.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think it should go any other way,
Right.
No,
because
no.
that would be way too dangerous over there.
What was the question?
The exiting,
The exit.
entrance and exiting,
Right.
exiting onto Main Street.
I mean, I think that could be done away with, but I think from a emergency vehicle access, it's better to have 2 entrances,
Yeah.
two accesses, and there's, so
I think
that's
that-
something that we can iron out through the zoning board process. When we when we get to the zoning board, we'll have a much more detailed site plan that we submit to them. The zoning board will engage Beta to peer review the plan, and there's a whole process there.
My
Yeah.
only comment on the right turn only is nobody pays attention to it, so.
Yeah.
That is
They'd
true.
pay attention real quick if they tried to take a left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Madam Chair, who's going to craft the letter to them? What were your
Oh, I
thoughts?
guess I will.
I was going to say, I know Mr. Weiss, who has been involved in this process as well, might be helpful to craft that letter.
Oh,
If you have certain, points, we can have bulleted points, and then we can
Okay.
work on getting something for you to
Okay.
sign.
Yeah. I
Correct,
would say,
Bob?
for the most part, the points that the fire chief, conservation, and the
Right.
said are points I concur with, at
Right.
least.
yeah. yeah.
And then the fact that as long as there's no increase to sewer, that's our only concern. Dramatic.
I think there's a
noticeable increase.
small
Yeah, a
increase.
modest increase wouldn't be a problem as we get closer to Glen Ellen and others being completed.
So how many units are there?
24.
24. How many bedrooms? Are they all over the place?
Don't remember. I didn't even know you were having this meeting tonight.
Yeah.
I just saw it on the agenda, so I figured I'd stick
Oh,
around.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be helpful to know the number of bedrooms.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it
think
was
it's-
a mix of 2
it's a
and 3,
mix
I think, so.
Of 2 and 3, I think.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, well, as soon as we find out, we'll know.
Okay.
So with tonight, though, we would have to vote to lift the moratorium for this project.
Not
it
yet.
sounds
They-
like.
they
No,
haven't-
not yet. No.
They haven't come before us to ask for it yet.
No, and you'd have to consult with town council. I'm not even sure that you would need to do that. I think it all goes through the zoning board on a 40B, including sewer. But you would want to consult with town council on that topic.
Yeah, in our letter, I'd note we're under a moratorium and we're waiting
Yes.
for capacity to become available, and this will be figured into the calculation as we go.
Right. Right, because you'd want to let the ZBA know that this is something they need to think about.
Right.
And they would have to come to you to ask you to lift the moratorium.
But if we're at the very beginning of this
Probably
process-
not. The
Maybe
zoning,
not, or maybe they
in a
don't.
comprehensive permit, the zoning board
Right,
acts
it's over
as the
everything.
permit granting authority for every local
Everything. That's what I
board
thought, but-
in town.
But does that, even if the select board put in place the moratorium, they wouldn't be the ones responsible for doing that?
Again, we should talk to town council about
okay.
it, as to the proper procedure for that.
So would we need to do that before we send the letter?
I would still
Yes,
note that we have
yeah.
a moratorium
We
in
can
place
reach
in the
out,
letter.
you can reach out tomorrow and
Yeah.
see what the process is to council.
Madam Chair, yeah, I would recommend at this point that you send the letter saying the board is open to working with the applicant on addressing the sewer, their sewer needs, and that you'll be working on that moving forward. I think just to let them know that the door is open on that, and so they can go ahead and get them the site eligibility, and we can work with them, and we can certainly schedule at a future meeting, possibility of, once we get some more numbers on confirming lifting the moratorium for this project.
Okay, and Mr. Weiss will help with that in a letter form? Awesome. Okay, thank you. All right, it looks like we have a couple more comments.
Nicole, you have a comment?
Nicole Riley, 258 Village Street, Millis Planning Board. I did just want to clarify for the Select Board why the Planning Board's letter is more strict than the Fire and Police Chief with regards to that entrance and exit. As you know, 109 is a go-between from 495 to 128. What you may not be aware of is 109 is the most busiest cut-through from highway to highway in the state. And that intersection, because of the hill, has very, very limited sight, as the chief pointed out with his photographs. I'm going to ask you to look in your packet at the letter from the chief that is on his letterhead that has the chart. If you have it digitally, it's page 32. And I'd
Yep.
like to bring your attention to that section that he has highlighted in yellow where the curb cuts exiting
Yep.
onto 109.
Yep.
Those curb cuts, as it's laid out here, is not going to prohibit. You can have 18 signs that say, do not enter, exit only, right turn only. People are going to turn in and out as they please. In particular, On this building, on the left side of the building that is shaded gray, that is a commercial, that is intended on the plans to be a commercial use, whether it's a store or an office, I don't know what that will be. It's our view that that is going to lead to someone who wants to get into that spot is not going to want to drive through. While I understand that for fire safety, it makes sense to have two means of egress, and if that is what is determined for the best safety, which we agree, we would propose that, like at Acorn Place, that entrance, that exit onto 109 be grassed and have a gate in front of it so that it is only accessible by first responders, that it is not something that an everyday motorist, because as the chair just mentioned, people are going to pull out no matter how many signs are there. And if somebody is coming westbound and they want to pull in there and they're the third or fourth one at the light and they think there's nobody coming in the other way, they're going to make a left-hand turn. And our concern is we are going to see some major, major problems. So we would propose that is why our letter to you was the recommendation that there be no traffic flow at that. And if the fire and police chief feel that that is necessary, that it be determined a emergency access only with a gate that the first responders have the key to.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Got Fusey 411 Union Street. Just to agree with Nicole a little bit. I remember years ago, I think when they did the 109 project, there used to be, when you come up the hill, they blocked it. You used to come in off of 109 and Pleasant Street. But I think when they did 109 and they put the lights in, to avoid people from not stopping at the light, they blocked it. But I would agree with the emergency access. I think that would be necessary to get emergency vehicles in and out and stuff like that, but not have normal traffic flow. She's right about 109. As a pedestrian, it's even trying to cross. People just don't. So public safety is number one. So thank you.
Sure. So just, this will probably be a question for you. So just so that I understand, I haven't had to do this yet, so all these letters have been addressed to me. So we are, am I correct in assuming that we're taking these concerns from these different boards and committees and putting them into one letter from the select board?
Yeah. Madam
Okay.
Chair, well, Bob Weiss, Town Planner. What we've done with the last couple of projects was just that, really was summarize. I'll draft a summary. I'll make sure I get back to ZBA and to Town Council and touch base with police and fire and anyone else who has submitted a letter. And we'll put together a summary of the letter, and we'll include the letters along with that. We have a Thanksgiving deadline. However, when I spoke to Michael Busby, who sent the letter to you, he said, don't worry about that. Just make sure you get the letter together, and if it comes out after Thanksgiving, it's not a problem. So you probably want to sign it at the next, whenever the next meeting, select board meeting is.
Not till December.
December 6th.
So
Who's telling us it's okay after Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Or- No, say, is it the state or the zoning board, or who's giving
Mass
us?
housing, right?
The letter's coming from here, from.
No, but who's telling us it's okay to miss the deadline?
Oh,
Because I
I'm
have a
sorry.
big
That
thing
was Mike
about missing
Busby,
the
who was
deadline.
with Mass Housing.
Right.
Okay.
And he bases that on the fact that they have a 90-day review. So anytime during the 90-day, their 90-day review, which started, I think, November 1st. So
if
but
it's a
I'll
matter-
touch base with Michael,
Okay.
Michael Busby, make sure.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Because do all have to sign it, or do just I have to sign it?
Just you.
Okay, so I can sign it whenever you are ready for me, so,
Right.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather not miss the deadline. I mean, even
Yeah.
if it's
Okay.
got some flexibility
That's
on
fine.
it.
All right, okay, sounds good, thank
So
you.
I think, so Bob, sorry, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Through the chair. Basically, you want the select board to say that they're amenable to the project with the following concerns, period, right? I mean, they just want to know that they're that
Well,
they
yeah.
are in favor of moving forward with this as long as things are addressed, correct? I mean, that's the,
That is what it sounds like.
right?
And again,
Okay.
I'll,
So should we take a vote on it?
Can't hurt.
Well, you can.
Okay. So I don't, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I'll try to speak for the board in that we are amenable to working with the applicant in this project, pending the concerns that have been submitted from the various boards and committees being addressed, and working with the applicant on sewer needs.
Well, yes, through the ZBA, yes.
Yes, but are we supposed to decide amongst ourselves right now on this entrance-exit thing, or no? Just,
No, I think
We
that
talked
goes
to
to, no,
Bob
that goes
about-
to the
No,
ZBA
that-
later. You're just
Fine.
Right,
yeah.
saying, you know, here we
That'll be
are, here
deferred
are
to
a couple
the
of our
ZBA.
concerns.
Yeah.
We were looking
Okay.
forward, but please address these
I
concerns.
will say,
right?
I like what Nicole said, though.
Do too.
Right.
Because
I'm there.
for
I do
emergency
too.
purposes,
I-
having
Yeah.
the ability is one thing. Then, you know, having a gate would be great, but having it wide open, I think she's 100% right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the solution that,
Yeah.
and I think we can put that in our letter, probably.
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'll second your motion.
Okay. So moved.
Sounded like
Okay.
a motion to me, didn't it?
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor of everything I said a minute ago?
Aye.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We have it recorded, we're good.
Oh, yeah. Clear as mud.
I mean, we just have to get a letter together and then we
Yes,
send it out.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so the next thing we have is just a couple appointments. Sorry.
Thank you,
Jen.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
That first item is the appointment of a library page. So on the recommendation of the library director, Kim Tolson, I'd like to appoint Abigail Kay as a library page for the Millis Public Library, and I'm requesting that the board vote to ratify that appointment.
Okay, excellent. Any questions?
Madam
No.
Chair?
Yes.
This will be subject to a physical. She does not need a query because she's 14, but she does need a work permit.
Physical and work permit.
So,
All right, I move that we authorize the town administrator to appoint Abigail Kane as a library page, subject to physical and a work permit.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to ratify the town administrator's appointment of Abigail Kay pending a physical and work permit. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Great, thank you. And Madam Chair, I think we're going to defer the next appointment until your next meeting
Okay.
of the seasonal DPW workers. So if we could just push that to your meeting in December.
Okay.
This all just flying.
That then brings us to board and committee liaison updates. I don't have any.
That was quick. I went to the Charles River Pollution Control meeting, and it lasted about 7 minutes. So they just approved their minutes and dismissed, so that's my update.
I attended the PBC meeting. That did not last 6 minutes. There was a lot of discussion, a goodbye to Wayne Klockow, who's stepping down as chair. He'll be missed. He did a lot of very good work for the committee. Long discussion about next steps with the senior center. It was pointed out there are no funds left to do anything with it, so they're awaiting our direction as to what needs to be done for cost studies and whatnot, and funding to do any of that work. So there was a concern there. Talked about next steps with the school, should the school be approved, which it was. So now they'll hit the ground running on the school project. Mr. Nichols is now the new chair for at least the next school study period. Wayne's ability to attend daytime meetings was a huge asset. Rich can't do that, so he's going to, that'll be okay until we actually start building the school, because all the work now is evenings and nights, but when we get into daytime meetings with the contractors, we may have to reconsider who attends and how that works. We talked a little bit about the whole process with how the senior center was voted and all that, and it was an interesting meeting. Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Any others?
Nope.
No? Okay.
We could certainly add and let people know that we're looking for a new member
Yes, we are
Yes.
looking for a
of the
new,
PBC, so if anyone is listening now and wants to step in, let us know.
And specifically, the committee felt that somebody with a construction background would be a
Absolutely.
huge asset, especially somebody who's recently retired with a construction background, who
Would
has
be
some
even better
time.
during the
Yeah.
day, right.
Yeah, and you know, the work now of designing the school begins. Oh, there was one other thing pointed out on the minutes from our meeting. It appointed the school principal as a voting member of the committee. He is not a voting member of the committee, so we have to change our minutes to reflect
So,
that.
and actually, Madam Chair, we did do that today. I had her
Okay.
there, and we listened to the meeting again. It was just a clerical error. She
Yeah.
must have just typed her
Okay.
statement incorrectly. So we relisted who is
Okay.
voting members and who is not a voting member, so.
Perfect.
But now we will have to go back to the MSBA and replace Wayne with someone.
Yeah.
Because that's who is listed. So we need someone, I'm assuming it's Rich for now that will step in.
okay.
Yeah, he's already on the permanent building committee, so I don't know if he's a name.
But you have to list a specific person who is the, I
Chair.
can't remember what it
Okay.
was, not the chair.
So
but
he would be
it's,
the chair of the permanent building committee
Yeah.
then, so, okay.
Okay.
All right.
The next thing we have is approval of draft minutes. We have 3 sets of them.
And Madam Chair, you had sent a couple of comments. We already updated those.
Okay.
Okay.
That is all set unless anyone else has comments.
Pending those comments, I didn't have a problem with it.
Okay. So we'll just do them in order, I guess. I'll take a motion for 9:26.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of 9:26.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the Select Board meeting for September 26, 2022. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of 10/3/2022.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve Select Board meeting minutes from October 3rd, 2022. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Make a motion to approve the select board meeting minutes from 10/17/2022.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Select Board meeting minutes from October 17th, 2022. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. That is all the minutes. All right, so at this point, I guess I'll just make the motion to adjourn to executive session to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with union and non-union personnel, SEIU, and town administrator. Once we come out of executive session, we will come out just for the purpose of adjourning. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to exit into executive session. All those in roll call. Ellen?
Aye.
Craig?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. So we are adjourned to executive session. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Millis Community Media. We appreciate